Welcome to the Signature Canine video series, where we're taking a look at all the new stuff coming out of the shop and some of your old school favorites that are getting a facelift. Welcome to the Signature Canine video series, where we're taking a look at all the new stuff coming out of the shop and some of your old school favorites that are getting a facelift.
So today at Signature Canine we're going to take a look at the newly redesigned Ultimate Load Bearing harness. And essentially what you see here is you've got handle on each end, and basically the handle is built into the molly. The molly is bar tacked all the way across here. There's a second row molly here, and then the handle is actually a part of that. So the handle's actually stitched from this end clear to here. It's doubled over so it makes it a little thinner. It lays flat on the dog. You can see this has an attachment point at the back. Load rated D-ring at the back. Across the D-ring actually has load rated webbing stitched into it. There's a full panel of Velcro here. Now this is actually the harness that we use for our camera system, because the camera Velcros down and then hooks through the molly and straps the mount down. The camera can pop on and off here pretty easy. This is the main one we use for that. Part of the reason that we use this harness for that is that it has a pretty big section, or the whole thing actually has spacer mesh on it. And if you look at it, the spacer mesh is actually compressible, so it pads the dog's back against the harness with the camera, and then the camera mount has spacer mesh in it, so between the two of them they actually take up the curve across the dog's back. This harness also, you'll notice, has got load rated metal buckles on it. So instead of a standard plastic buckle, it's got a load rated metal buckle. The whole thing's got that pad in it. The other thing that pad does is it actually spaces up from the dog's body a little bit, the harness, and adds a little padding to the sides. But where that becomes important is the fact that you can actually take you actually give back the airspace that the fur creates. So the fur mash, most harnesses mash the fur down and are either effective because they're mesh or they're small platform. In a larger platform harness like this, you want to give the dog as much airspace between his body and the harness as you can, so you can reduce some of the heat buildup in there. And basically what you have here is that mesh gives us some of that back, so we get less heat buildup underneath the harness, keeping the dog cooler. You'll see on here across the top, here are G-hook loops, so it'll accept our G-hook pouches. Single strap in the front, same thing, load rated hardware. It will take our padded breastplate, so you can turn it from the standard sort of two-strap harness configuration, and you can add that third strap with the padded breastplate on it if you want. And again, this is an HD version, and the HD version of all our harnesses have these metal buckles in them. They have all load-rated hardware and all load-rated webbing in the HD versions. So if you've seen some of the other versions with plastic hardware, that's the difference. It costs a little more money, but it's substantially heavier duty as far as that stuff goes. Again, the other thing to look at on this harness too is when you look at this chest plate. Here, let me unbuckle it. I get the size set to my chest plate and then I kind of leave it. But what you'll see here is that this comes off at an angle, as opposed to a lot of harnesses that come straight across here and wrap around the chest. That doesn't really follow the dog's shoulder, and it doesn't really allow him to load into the chest at all. If he's pulling, if he's tracking, it actually creates, it's not as comfortable. So if I'm looking at a dog and I've got a line on the dog on the harness, now if I'm just out doing general work, I'll put my leash on the collar. But if I'm actually out and I'm going to use the harness, you can see this actually comes down towards the front of the dog, so it comes across the top of his shoulder and down away from his neck. So it's not pulling this direction, it actually pulls into his chest. And that allows us to transfer the weight back the harness this direction better, which brings it back to the leash better. Whereas opposed to a flat strap harness in the front, one that comes parallel to the ground here, or horizontal, it actually loads and the harness twists the load up. This, it actually draws through the harness to the attachment point in the back, which makes it a little better under those load conditions. The other thing, again, because it's all load rated webbing, I can grab the dog, pick him up with the handles. If I need to pitch him over a fence or throw him into something, I can actually grab this and use the harness as that. Now it's not, none of the harnesses that are built on a platform similar to this meant to rope off of these handles or anything like that. But the reality is I can pick him up, I can lower him down if I need to. I'm not going to fast rope out of a helicopter with him, but at the same time, this is going to basically manage everything else you're going to do with that dog minus those situations. So G-hook panels, load-rated webbing, 2 straps of MOLLE already here. It's padded so that it actually creates some airspace behind the dog, plus offers some padding. Load-rated buckles on the bottom, handles integrated into the MOLLE. All this is bar tacked so that it actually basically that bar tack weaves this fabric back into the other fabric with thread. So it's substantially stronger than what you'll see a lot of times, which is just a triple stitched harness, which makes the durability a lot better. And well, I think that's it. This is the Signature Canine and the Ray Allen Ultimate Load Bearing Harness. And we will see you next time.